How many realtors in here? Any realtors? Okay. All right. Hey, we got one. Anybody else full time in real estate, or your spouse does not have a full time job? Anyone else? Okay. So there's something called, and he can talk more about it. You can ask how it applies to you, but it's something called a real estate professional. It's basically a check the box thing on the IRS on your tax return that gives you the greatest tax benefits that you could ever possibly have. It's like the greatest gift the IRS gives, and that's to real estate investors. There's certain things that you need to have to qualify, and by need to have, I don't mean a realtor's license. You don't need that, but there are certain things that you need to be doing to qualify for it. But if you do, it gives you virtually unlimited losses, passive losses, and how that can relate to your income and other business income and all that. That's the part where you definitely want a good CPA to iron that out for you. But it's a massive, massive benefit. So invest, and if you do it right, especially since you raise your hand, you're a realtor, you can end up taking advantage of some pretty good tax benefits.
Maybe to that point too, think about it this way. As a consumer, inflation obviously hurts you quite a bit, right? But the best position to be in is as a business, right? Because ultimately you take your increased costs as a business and you just pass it as higher prices to the consumer, right? I think it's pretty straightforward. Now, the beauty of real estate is that the question that underlies this premise, depending on what business you're in, is how sticky is that product? If it's something that people don't really care about, well, then you probably can't survive an increase in your prices. People aren't going to buy it. Real estate, people need it. And COVID, if it showed us anything, is that the government is even willing to step in and guarantee that they're going to pay for the real estate, right? People work from home now. If they're more dependent on this. When you buy, at least in the multifamily side of things, you're buying a business. Every single property is a separate business. So anytime our prices increase, contractor, labor, materials, whatever it is, we pass it on as higher rents. It sucks in some capacity, depending on how you look at it, but it's also part of how business works in general. So that's the best way to hedge in a big way. But to that point too, the other beauty of real estate as well is the fact that what we have over a lot of other businesses out there is that we have taxation benefits, right? Depreciation, all that sort of stuff. Without fail, every single year, Q4 comes around, we start getting hit up by a lot of wealthy people saying, hey, I made a lot of money this year. I don't want to pay taxes on this. Guess what? You give me $1 million, you can now offset that against your income. Tell me how you can save that much on your taxes if you're in the highest income bracket, 20, 30, 40% in an instant, right? Now, obviously, with this year being the last year of bonus depreciation, if you can get half of that as depreciation in year one, you roughly 40 to 60%, depending on the deal. But this is where the biggest inflation hedge really can come from, ultimately having a way to pass on those expenses to other folks, the consumers at the end of the day.